500 subs. We gotta get to 500 subs. It's the only way I'm committing to a stream schedule. We're at 187.
So we've been covering a lot of YouTubers and celebrities that let fame get to their heads. But today I'm gonna give you probably the best of the bunch. And this is influencers that let fame get to their heads. Hey, what's up, IOers? It's Mackenzie here. And today on the channel, I'm gonna be listing the top 10 influencers that let fame get to their heads. And some of these are just so good. Like, you really cannot make these up. But before I get into it, make sure that you are subscribed down below if you want to see more videos spilling tea on influencers just like this. So starting off at number 10, we have Jessy Taylor. So this one is really crazy. Basically, Jessy Taylor had a pretty popular Instagram page with over 100,000 followers on it. But after she got into some drama online with other influencers, their fans started to attack her page and reported it as spam. And because of all this, Instagram decided to take down her account. But the crazy part about all this is after all this happened and she was notified that Instagram had removed her account, she decided to do something completely reasonable and allegedly she called the police. And yes, this is a real thing that allegedly happened. She said that she did this because, quote, her Instagram account being deleted felt like a murder, she told this insider. And after she got in contact with the police and explained her situation, they of course did nothing because there was nothing they could do, like no crime was committed against her. In her own words, she said, quote, I called the police actually and told them about this. And they said, you can't compare a murder to this. And I was like, no, that's exactly what it felt like. So yeah, that's definitely someone who went a little crazy with influencer fame. And at number 9, Amanda Cerny. So this one's actually pretty recent, so I'm giving you guys some fresh tea. So the sitch here is that Amanda Cerny, who's an incredibly famous influencer who got her start on Vine, recently started streaming on Twitch. And during one of her streams, she kind of paused in the middle and said, quote, we gotta get to 500 subs, while looking directly at the camera. Continuing, quote, it's the only way I'm committing to the stream schedule. We're at 187, like, I don't know what to tell you. So after this, a lot of people were really upset and she got a lot of backlash for being so entitled for followers. She responded to some of the backlash on Twitter where she argued that she never said she wouldn't stream, just that it couldn't be her main focus without having enough of a following on there. But people still did not like the way that it looked, with a lot of people commenting that she should be happy with the 187 fans that she does have, instead of begging for more. With some smaller creators saying that they would be incredibly grateful for any number of followers, never mind 187. And some other accused her of not really being interested in the streams, but only being interested in money, as she knows the gaming is a huge moneymaker right now. And at number 8, Garden Stomper. So I called this one Garden Stomper because I wasn't actually able to get the identity of who this person was, but it was still pretty juicy, so I wanted to include it. So in this one, an influencer and her photographer decided to take some photos at a botanical garden called Garfield Park Conservatory, which by itself, you know, isn't anything crazy. Until you learn that she decided to enter the restricted area of the gardens in order to take the pictures. And as you can see by the photo, she's literally behind the metal things that essentially, you know, tells you it's restricted and not to go behind there. And she's stepping right on the plants in order to take these pictures. So of course, after seeing this, tons of people complained and started to call her out and tried to get the staff involved. And the staff told her to leave the area many times. But after she didn't listen and still decided to take pictures, their security finally escorted her out and banned her and the photographer from coming back. And this is just so crazy, like thinking that it's okay to literally destroy plants that are in this garden specifically to be preserved. Just so insane to me. Now I don't know if this girl actually has any followers because, you know, I don't know who it is, but I'm assuming that she feels entitled enough to do this because she probably has followers, unfortunately. And at number 7, Serene Martin. So this is another one that is just insane and proves just how removed from reality that some influencers can be. So Serene, who's based in Singapore, decided to contact a gym for a personal training regimen so that she could prepare for a fitness competition. But not only did she want this personal trainer for free for 12 long weeks in exchange for her promotion, but she also wanted the gym to pay her $3,000 in this arrangement as well. But the owner of the gym, Daphne Maya Liu, did not take this offer very well and decided to blast the influencer on her Facebook page, where she reiterated that her exposure would not pay the company's bills and that she was deeply insulted that she would ask the gym for money for a program that she wanted to span 12 whole weeks. And the people in the comments on the Facebook post did not hold back. They congratulated Liu for taking a stand and even told her to include the influencer's name, which she did not in her post, but tons of people in the comments wrote it. And at number 6, Kayla Massa. So this is actually a story that I covered on the channel a little while back, but I actually thought it would be a really good story to include here if you missed it. So Massa had an Instagram account with over 300,000 followers and a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers. And she decided to totally abuse her following by allegedly scamming her followers out of millions of dollars. The sitch here is that she advertised to her followers that they could make money quickly if they gave her access to their bank accounts and PIN information. And to summarize, the scam was that Massa would deposit fake checks and money orders into the accounts, and once they went through, she would quickly spend all the money on legitimate checks that she would deposit into her own real bank account. But the scam comes in when the bank realizes that these checks are fraudulent, and then they take the money out of the account of, the people that gave her their accounts. Then the account owner is left with a negative balance that they then have to pay up to the bank, and it's usually, as you can imagine, thousands of dollars. Halfway through number 5, Verity Johnson. So this one's actually a little different, but I wanted to include it anyways because I think it's an interesting perspective. So this is actually an article on a woman who used to be an influencer, and she described how being an Instagram model in her 20s made her a terrible person. The article is actually called, quote, "I was Insta famous and it was one of the worst things to happen in my 20s." So she's very upfront about her journey in the article, and she states that she was offered a job at a daily TV show, and because she was on TV every day, her Instagram following quickly grew. And she says as a result of this fame, she became awful, and she's very entitled, self-obsessed, and incredibly dull. In the piece, she said, quote, "Social media feeds those darkest parts of every personality, encouraging you to rant on Twitter, brag on Facebook, and be vain on Insta. Vanity sells on the gram. The hotter the pic, the better it does. So the more time you spend in the mirror creating them." And she now says that she's aware of how toxic it is. She now calls herself an ex-influencer and finished off the piece by saying, quote, "I realized in order to stay Insta famous, I'd have to nurture the most pathetic parts of my own psyche. And honestly, no amount of free ombre activewear is worth that." And it was really, really refreshing for me to see someone that was incredibly self-aware that her fame was completely going to her head and completely changing her as a person. So she decided to change her path, and she believes she's a better person for it now. And at number 4, entitled Intern. So this is one I found on Reddit where the influencer's name was not disclosed, but in this one, an intern at a company is telling their story of when an influencer came to intern at their workplace, but was a total brat who didn't do anything. They also said she was the daughter of one of their biggest clients, so that just made things even worse. The person said that not only did the influencer not actually do anything, she would show up late and leave early, and she would call in sick and then post photos of her out on her Instagram. I guess completely forgetting that her coworkers could totally look at it and then see that she was completely lying. And what made the poster even more angry is the realization that she would have totally been fired for this sort of behavior, but the influencer got a pass because she was the client's daughter. And at number 3, At Another Beautiful Day. Okay, so this couple is wild. Basically, Caitlin Onk and Elena Engelhart run an Instagram account called Another Beautiful Day. And since a lot of their blog is based around travel, they decided they wanted to do a long cycling trip around Africa. And the whole thing would cost about 10,000 pounds. But instead of making the money themselves, they decided to ask their loyal followers to give them the money they needed to fund the trip instead. They made a GoFundMe page that's surprisingly still up to this day, even with all the backlash that they received. And on the GoFundMe page, they describe how they want to show their followers life how it really is, but they need their followers' help to go on this adventure, saying that all of the money would be used to fund the essentials needed on the trip. And at the time of this video, they had about 1,100 pounds donated, so I guess not everyone thought it was crazy, and some people actually gave them their money, but a lot of people did think it was crazy, with them getting a swift backlash for being too entitled to work a normal job to earn the money themselves. With a lot of people pointing out one of their earlier captions where they wrote, quote, "I've seen and done too much to just go back to a normal job." And honestly, if that doesn't say it all, I don't really know what does. And at number 2, the Dobre Brothers. Okay, so this is one you've probably heard of because I think we covered it as a news story on the channel a while back, but this just really, really broke my heart when I saw it, to be honest. So the Dobre Brothers, who are also former Team 10 members, along with 2 other people, were at a meet and greet where fans paid extra to meet them. And their video went viral on TikTok that showed a young girl going up to the brothers. And when she said hi and tried to interact with them, they did not even acknowledge her whatsoever and didn't even take the effort to even smile at her. They literally just stayed the exact same, put their hand on her, and looked at the camera that was taking the picture. And then they hardly said anything to her after she awkwardly walked off and looked pretty disappointed, in my opinion. After the video started to go viral on Twitter with people calling them out, Lucas Dobre tweeted an apology on behalf of the group, where in summary he said they had been working for 48 hours and were completely exhausted. But a lot of people didn't really care and said that even when they're exhausted, they do their best to give customers a better experience at their workplaces, with others telling them that they should be more appreciative towards their fans as they're the ones that give them the means to live their current lives. And at number 1, we have @Puzzled Travel Tea. Okay, so this last one is really dangerous, not just for the people being photographed, but for their fans as well. So Kelly Castile and Cody Workman were a couple that run a travel blog on Instagram, but some of their most famous photographs have been called out as they show the couple in incredibly dangerous situations, like this one in particular that shows them kissing while the woman is literally hanging off the edge of an infinity pool. And many were quick to call them out for being so careless and putting their life in danger just for a photograph and to get some likes on Instagram. But after the backlash, the couple came out saying that it was not as dangerous as it looked, and there was another pool beneath her that would have caught her if she fell. And while some people forgave them after the explanation, others felt it was very reckless for them to influence other people into potentially doing this while not providing the full context of the situation. Okay guys, that's all from me. Let me know who you think was the worst in the comments below, and let me know who you think I missed that could be in a part 2. But before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from celebrities that are mean in real life, part 3. So Lisa CJ said, personally, I would never approach a celebrity, let alone approach and ask for a photo or an autograph. It feels invasive and inappropriate to me. And yeah, like I completely agree, but I do think that if you do it correctly and like respectfully and it makes sense in that moment, then it's not the most terrible thing, and celebrities just could be a little more kind about it when they are approached. But also I guess we do have to say the people in those stories that like I talked about in the last video, we have no idea how they approach the celebrities, right? I mean, they could have been really obnoxious or whatever, and that's why the celebrities were I guess more rude to them. Then Marlene Eleanor said, not surprised with Jennifer Lopez, never liked her. How dare she insult Winona and Cameron, they're talented actresses. Well, Lopez acts like the best actress that walked, she's so overrated. Kind of agreed, like she's acting like she's Meryl Streep or something, like commenting on others people's acting. It's just really way out of line. Then Nancy Haney said, when quarantine is over, 99% of famous people will be canceled. And truly, I have to agree with that. We're getting to kind of a bad place, but I did really want to confirm, I don't think that we should cancel anyone in the Mean Celebrities videos, because celebrities do have bad days and we don't know like the full context of the situations around them. So yeah, I'm not trying to cancel anyone, but we're just sharing some tea. Okay guys, that's all from me. Again, make sure to like and subscribe down below to see more videos like this. And follow us on our Instagrams if you want to see more of our faces. Thanks so much for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one.